All right, good afternoon, traders. Today's September 23rd, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody out there, podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you to everybody that follows my content, watches my content, subscribes to my content, everybody that shares my content. Special shout out to John Jordan, Bob Jordan, Kathy Sarah Roasted. Thank you so much. All right, let's take a look at the markets today, how I made 5K. Let's see what we had going on today. All right, let's push this over. All right, let's, you know what, let's just take care of this one right here because this is probably not going to work for us. Epic Pen, bye-bye. And let's get this back up here. Okay, so SPY, 10-minute chart into the close. We got a very weak one candle 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. All right, looking like it's going for a going to tag some VWAP. All right, that's what it looks like to me right now. On the 2-hour, chart, we have another weak 2-hour downtrend, looking like a one candle, two candle downtrend on the 2-hour chart. On the daily chart, okay, on the daily chart, we have let's see if we got a higher high today. High was 667.29. High was 667.34. So we got a new all-time high for SPY today. Again, up at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ. Let's see if we got a new all-time high for QQQ. High is 602.87. High is 602.57. So lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. Still up the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish. Still in an uptrend on QQQ. FNGU. All right, FNGU got a lower high, lower low, closing under a bullish trap under the 17, over the 17 EMA. Up at the top of quadrant 4, that's still bullish and still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow put in a new all-time high that is bullish and still in an uptrend. IWM put in a new all-time high that is bullish and still in an uptrend. There's lots of bullishness still left in the market here. Let's go look at QQQ. All right, let's take a peek at it on the 10-minute chart. Again, we got another two-candle 10-minute uptrend. Very weak two-candle 10-minute uptrend. All right, there's QQQ on the 10-minute chart. On the 2-hour chart, same as SPY, got a very weak 2-hour, two-candle, 2-hour downtrend right there on QQQ. They could probably reverse that in the morning if they rip up to some new highs. So there's QQQ on the 2-hour chart. Again, on QQQ, it was a lower high and a lower low, closing inside a bullish trap up there at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend. Everything in the Fab 5 is still bullish, still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at GLD. GLD, new all-time high, bullish and still in an uptrend. SLV, new 14-year high, bullish and still in an uptrend. Not quite the all-time high yet, okay, but bullish and still in an uptrend on silver. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG, lower high, lower low, closing under bearish trap under the 17 EMA. Bottom of quadrant 4, this is the quadrants. That's bearish, still in a downtrend. Let's take a look at USO. USO not in the upper third, not in the lower third, just neutral right through here. Hanging out right on top of this, a 3-year high, anchored VWAP. Price action has got a higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish cross and over the 17. Still in a downtrend on that price action. It's really just consolidating over to the right, and whether it's an uptrend or a downtrend between 76 and 74, it's kind of irrelevant. I mean, it's not been able to hold the higher ground in a long time. All right, it's just struggled every time. So there's USO neutral, and still in a downtrend. If they take out that high, they'll have themselves an uptrend. Let's take a look at our technicals. First one, T2101. This is the market breadth again. Losing more and more breadth every day. Okay, that's market participation. Okay, so T2101 reaches another new low. This is the reversal zone. I got to say, based on the candles I saw today, those look like reversal candles. We'll see what happens, all right? Markets are still bullish up there, but we are in the reversal zone for T2101. This is the market breadth. We'll see what happens. T2122, wow, did not see that coming. Popped into the overbought zone first thing in the morning. Wow, did not see that coming. And then from there, a series of lower highs and lower lows all the way back to the midpoint. From here, we came down, remember the day before, we came down into the sell zone and made a series of higher lows, all right, and higher highs all the way back to close at the midpoint. So they go down, they come back to the midpoint, they go up, come back to the same midpoint. I don't like this. They're not able to hold the higher ground. Okay, that's not a good sign. Maybe tomorrow, maybe more selling tomorrow. We'll see based on those candles that we got. All right, possible reversal candles. T2101 is in the reversal zone. T2122, as you can see, could not hold the higher ground in the overbought zone, in the buy zone, and just barely held up in the buyer's chop zone. So not a good look tomorrow for T2122 or T2121, T2101, excuse me. T2123, price action, did it get a new high? Yep, price action for T2123. There's where your overbought came from. All right, so prints out a new all-time high for T2123. We have a low down here. We made a lower low, so we're still in a downtrend. Again, we left off yesterday in a downtrend, went up, made a higher high. Of course, that put us in an uptrend. But then, lo and behold, we came through and made a lower low right here. Well, let's just see. Okay, that's just one candle. I'm not going to count one candle. And so we're still in an uptrend. Still in an uptrend on T2123. I'm not going to count it because this would be the valley low right here, and they did not take out that low. All right, so price action still in an uptrend. Still up over the rising 200 SMA. Again, printed a new all-time high. So T2123 still consolidating up here at the highs. 3-bar chart, price action still at the highs up here, top of quadrant 4. All right, over the 200 SMA. That's still bullish, still in an uptrend. All right, so SPY, QQQ, FNGU kind of taking a little bit of profit today. Where IWM and Diamond Dow were, they made new all-time highs. So let's take a look at FNGU. Did they ink out a new all-time high? I got to tell you, that looks like air between that candle. But that's yesterday. All right, so today, FNGU, a little bit of profit taking happening. Again, making a higher low. I would think that the bulls will be inspired to make or challenge the high based on that higher low. We'll see what happens. All right. So FNGU on the 15 minute, it's in a downtrend because you got a bottom here, come back up, make a lower low. Okay, so 15 minute on FNGU in a downtrend. 15 minute on T2123 is in an uptrend. So price action closing underneath the 200 SMA. Didn't see that coming, not for today anyways. They could recover it tomorrow. A whole lot of price action. You can see selling from the beginning of the day all the way to the end of the day, spending most all of the day underneath VWAP here, okay? Most all the day underneath VWAP. So pull back, a little bit of profit taking. Still up over these highs right here. Really don't want to break this candle right here. I'd like to not break that candle or this one. Right now, we're still bullish. That is a higher low. And I hope the bulls do get inspired tomorrow morning to print a higher high. So there's price action right there for FNGU. And let's go back and take a look at how we made money today. Okay, this was it was not my day. I'm just going to say that right up front. It was not my day, and I'll tell you why it was not my day, because I'm bullish on the market. I'm not a big fan of playing short trades today. I did trade a couple of them, but I'm not a big fan because the market's still bullish. All right, we do have a 2-hour downtrend that just materialized late in the end of the day, but all in all, not a big fan of trading today, only because I'd rather buy the dip than to trade the short. But the shorts did work out fantastic today. Let's go to SPY, take a peek at it. All right, let's take a look at the 10-minute chart. You can see here's a 10-minute downtrend, and I called it out in the room. All right, 10-minute downtrend under VWAP right here. And you can see you stayed in it. It was almost, I got to say, it's like a trend day for the bears. All right, we're in this 10-minute downtrend. You got air right here, so that's a 10-minute downtrend all the way up until the last two candles right there for SPY. I did buy some calls at the end of the day. The reason I bought the calls at the end of the day is because the market is still bullish. All right. And I would think that the bulls are still going to come in and rescue the price action. We'll see. They did kind of, but not quite bringing it back to VWAP. Maybe it'll get there tomorrow morning. We'll see what happens. So there's SPY. On the 10-minute, it was a 10-minute downtrend all day. Okay, nothing moved up on that except for the last three candles. On QQQ was pretty much the same thing. Okay, it was a 10-minute downtrend all day. All right, kind of got closed out here, reopened, kind of got closed out here, reopened, and then it got closed out the last three candles right there. So basically, just trying to keep my head above water was pretty much what happened. I had made 8,200 on these. Again, I saw price gonna bounce, so I bought 4,000 calls at a penny, and I was able to sell them for 4 cents. All right, so that's it on those. These pretty much the same thing. Made 2,500, bought a ton of contracts down at 3 cents, 2 cents, and was able to sell them up here for 2 cents or just 2 pennies higher. All right, right there, you can see if I sold them for 5 cents. So I bought them for 2 and 3 and sold them for 5. That's it. Okay, and then I lost money on these puts. I was underwater by 10K on the puts, and I worked it. I just worked it down. So instead of being underwater 10K, I'm underwater. I lost 5,500 on it. So I'm fine with that. These other two are kind of insignificant. Did buy some more Intel calls. Looking for Intel to do a 1, 2, 3. It did the 1. It did the 2. It had a really weak 3 or ABC. Okay, and then just petered out right there, and then just gave it up right there. I really had visions of it coming back to the midpoint of the pullback here. Okay, I could see price probably coming back up to Not quite that far. Right there. Okay. So I had visions of price coming back to 3061. You can see it did not make it. It kind of hit the minor resistance from the intraday price action. You can see here's the candle that it hit. It hit that low and then rolled over. So I didn't get what I wanted. All right. So I got some calls here, and I have to figure out what I want to do with those calls. Unless Intel can get bullish pretty soon, we'll see what happens. All right. So there's Intel. You can see I only made $56 on that. All right, so that's it for me for today. Again, not my day. I'm not. I'm more of a buyer in this bullish market than I am a seller. And today was seller's paradise. All right, with pretty much a trend day for all the sellers out there. Just started out going down and went down into the last 3 candles of the day, and then they priced kind of reversed right there. So that's it for today. Yes, thank you, everybody. Yep, thank you. I'll see you all tomorrow at 8. All right, we'll try it again. Hopefully we get better circumstances. Again, my favorite is to be long because we're in a bullish market. I do recognize that we're losing a lot of breath. We'll see what happens. I don't see any exhaustion, even though we're losing breath. I can't see price kind of reversing yet. Maybe it just goes off to the side and moves to the right and just kind of bull flags. We'll see what happens. Everybody have a beautiful evening. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much.